Hi. So things got weird in the last week. We've gone from asking, is Will okay? To, is Malcolm okay? Is Doris okay? Is everyone okay? My name's Reese and I've been a science teacher for 10 years and I have never lived through anything like this. In this video, we're going to take a look at what's happened, what is occurring in the UK education landscape. So I've been teaching for a decade and I can only remember a whole school closing for one of three reasons. The most common one is snow. Gotta love a snow day. There was once when the school I was working at closed because there was an interruption to its water supply. That was fantastic because we were sent home halfway through the day. That was fabulous. And right at the start of my career there were some teacher strikes that closed schools. But all of these things are usually local or at worst regional problems. You have an area closed rather than the whole country. But we're now living through a nationwide school closure. Just to be clear on what's happened, from Monday the 23rd of March, Boris Johnson ordered all nurseries, schools, colleges, education establishments to shut to almost all pupils for the foreseeable future. 3 weeks ago, we were thinking all we need is a deep clean. We might have an extra week tacked on to the Easter holiday, perhaps. But now it's abundantly obvious we're going to have to hunker down for the long term. Social distancing measures have been brought in that will last at least 3 weeks. So I don't think we're going to see schools open for months. Now, obviously, I'm making guesses in this video, and you shouldn't treat anything that I'm saying as either constituting legal advice, gospel truth, or reflecting the establishment that I work at. These are all my personal opinions. Having said that, I would like to clarify a few things that are going on. I think that'll be useful and get a few things off my chest about how things could proceed. Let's start with the biggest news. For the past week, most students have not been in school. You've probably noticed this. In fact, I would be deeply concerned if you hadn't noticed it. Oh, wow, my school's changed, yeah. You should be at home, and I hope you are at home. Schools haven't closed to give you an extra long Easter holiday to give you a chance to go out socialising with your mates. Schools have closed to keep people apart. You need to be at home, indoors, except for an hour of exercise. And that hour of exercise needs to be taken with people in your household. Not meeting up with friends for a kickabout or going and playing basketball. We need to stay apart. Okay, it's a sacrifice and we have to make this. As I've said, we're in this for the long haul. With over 70s being asked to isolate for 12 weeks, I don't think we're going to see schools open until at least that has finished. And that takes us to the end of June. So we could, theoretically, not see schools open again until September. If you look at Wuhan province in China, where this major outbreak is thought to have first started, they are only just opening up their social distancing measures. They're only just opening up lockdown. They're allowing people to re-enter Wuhan, not leave. This is 60 days plus since they imposed this, and the schools still aren't open. Now, obviously, this has a series of knock-on effects. Number one, Year 6, Year 11, Year 13, these year groups have probably been together for the last time. And there's no prom, there's no leavers assembly, there's no school disco, there's no leavers party, and this is not how you imagined this time of your life to be. This is not how you imagined you would leave and move on from these milestone ages. And that sucks. That absolutely sucks. There's no way around it. I mean, you can meet up on Zoom, you can meet up on FaceTime, but that camaraderie that you're going to have, all being together, all the energy and effort that you've put into selecting outfits for prom, how you would turn up to prom, that's just something that you're not going to be able to experience. And that is absolutely horrible. And my heart goes out for you guys. I feel really sorry for you. Now, number two, and you can sort of take this as some good news, is that all exams have been cancelled. The Year 6 SATs, the Year 2 SATs, although frankly if Year 2s knew they were taking SATs, then something's going wrong there. The GCSEs, the A-levels, they're cancelled, they're gone. You are not going to be asked to sit an exam. let's be clear, you are going to get a grade. And that grade is going to be given to you by your teacher. Now, we don't know precisely how this is going to work. Ofqual, the government body that oversees all examinations, are going to give us more information when we go back to school, but we're not at school and we've got no idea when we're going back. From what we understand, most of the grade is going to be based on assessments you've already done. So these are mock exams, end of module tests, coursework, long pieces of homework, things like that. Now, year 11, that means we've got your year 11 mock exam, your year 10 mock exam, your year 9 mock exam, or end of year exams, whatever you call them at your school, plus all of your end of module tests. Year 13, similarly, we've got several mock exams that you've done over the years, and that's where we're going to base the grade. The government have said there'll be an appeals process. When Ofqual publish whatever process it is that schools have to go through, if you don't think your school has followed it, you will have a right of appeal. But that appeal isn't there simply because you don't like the grade you've been given. There's also talk of perhaps offering exams in September of 2020 or allowing you to sit your exams in 2021. But to be clear, these exams will occur after you've already been given a grade. You don't get put into some sort of limbo. You can choose to try and exceed the grade you're given if you wish, but we don't know how that's going to work. Now, we don't know how a lot of this is going to work, but we do know certain things that this process is not going to be. This process is not going to be about pester power. It's not going to be parents putting on pressure to your teachers because you need these grades to get to this college, you need these grades to get to this university or get onto this course. We know that it's not going to be based on any internal tests or interviews. Now, this is where students are going to be disappointed. By basing your grade mainly on assessments we've already done, taking into account our professional judgment, because we know how people in these mock exams, we know what grades they usually go on to get, and we're quite accurate at predicting those. But there are going to be some people who've been working at a grade 5 for the last 3 years, and they haven't really put in a lot of effort, and they haven't taken anything seriously. And these students, we are not going to be giving you grade 8s and grade 9s. That's not how this is going to happen. And you may not like that. There's going to be sixth formers, and I've had conversations with them after the mock exams, and they've told me, oh yeah, I didn't really take them seriously, didn't really think they would matter. Guys, we go on and on about how the mock exams are important in case you can't sit your real thing. Now that sucks, but if you've been bumping along for the last 18 months at A-level, had a D or a C, we're not going to give you an A because you need it to get onto this course at this university. You may not like that. You have to work consistently all the way through. We can't assume that you are going to bump yourself up by these grades. Usually we see people go up 1 grade. So if you're in DC, we're not going to be projecting you A stars and A's. If you desperately need those A stars and A's, perhaps you need to talk to your university, or perhaps you need to take up that option of sitting an exam in 2021 to get that. As I say, none of this is legal advice. I am hypothesizing here. I'm trying to guess where people are going to be. If you are concerned, first thing you do when you get your grade awarded is to contact your university. They know what's going on. They might be in a position to discuss with you other options. Okay? Now, the final major problem is that you're not in school. And you may be thinking, that's great, I'm not in school, I can work on my kill-death ratio on Call of Fortnite or whatever it is you kids play. See, I am down with our kids. Brap, brap. But that is going to wear off, and we are going to have to go back to school at some point. The years 12 and 10, they're going to have exams next year. And it's not certain that the exam boards are going to give you any special dispensation for the interruption you've had to your studies. In short, you need to be preparing for your exams. Your schools should be sending you material to learn from. And this material isn't going to be as good as being in a classroom, surrounded by your peers, in that mindset, ready to work with an expert at the front to talk to. But are you going to let that define you? And particularly year 12, that decision, the decision you make over the next few weeks could define the rest of your future. If you don't put in the effort now, you're going to have gaps in your knowledge that you're not going to be able to pick up again. Are you going to let this problem that you can't control the rest of your life, or are you going to drag yourself up by your bootlaces and say, I'm not going to let this affect me? This is only a decision that you can make. What you should be doing is doing the work that you're asked, not sticking your head in the sand or thinking, great, I've got a 12-week holiday. Now, not only is this going to be good for your future, good for your grades, good for your exams, but for your mental health, it helps to have a sense of normality. If nothing else, you can put in a chunk of work to break up your time on Minecraft. I'm going to be doing a couple of videos over the next few weeks on keeping a look on your mental health, how you can improve your learning when you're learning on your own. But just some general ideas. If you don't understand something, you can get on Bite Size, you can get on YouTube. There's loads of good video channels on YouTube. There's free science lessons, my nemesis. There's Amoeba Sisters, there's the Crash Course stuff with Hank. Gotta love Hank, the only man alive who can talk faster than me. You can construct your own education. This is an amazing opportunity. For the first time ever, being isolated from your school and way of life can actually have a minimal impact on your education. We can't say that any other time in history. Equally, I know things aren't normal. You're not going to work as effectively as if you're in school. But you can read books about your subject, you can watch YouTube videos or documentaries about your subject, you can complete the work that we have set you. We're expecting you to know this when you come back to school. Ask questions of your friends, ask questions of your parents. Your school might allow you to contact your teachers and ask them questions. Mine isn't, but your school might. Now, the enormity of these changes reflects how serious this infection is. Life is not meant to be normal right now. We are all making sacrifices. And we're making these sacrifices to save lives. The epidemiological evidence suggests that children get a very mild form of this disease. But that isn't a reason for you to behave flippantly about it. You can pass it on to those vulnerable people in society. We have to slow the rate at which these people get infected. The NHS is a world-class health service. But there are only so many nurses, there are only so many doctors, so many beds, ventilators and medications to go around. And if all of these millions of vulnerable people end up in hospital over a short length of time, they all end up critically ill at the same time. Doctors are going to have to choose who to save. Just let that sink in. This is serious. You're being asked to make a sacrifice, so do your part. Coronavirus is going to end. And we'll go back to normal, although maybe that normal will be different. Maybe that normal will reflect a better understanding of how to treat our elders and how to look after the elderly. Maybe that new normal will reflect closer family relationships where we spend more time together. Hopefully, that normal will remember the 400,000 volunteers in one day and forget the people fighting over toilet paper. Maybe a new world will be born where materialism becomes immaterial, where we're grateful for a walk with each other, a hug with a friend, a kiss from your gran. But until then, stay home, protect the NHS, save lives. My name is Reese. This has been Counting Bubbles. I hope that's answered some of your questions. If you have any other questions you'd like me to answer, stick them in the comments below. If you think this video has been useful, please like and subscribe. I'll be doing many more of these because I'm not at work at the moment. And if you think it'll be useful to other people, share it with them. Until the next time, stay safe. God bless.